3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Play.
All right, you were recording, my love.
Yep, I'll take care of it.
All right, I'll see you later. You have a good day, all right? Annie, we'll see you later.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, my love. Your walker is right here at the end of the table.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
I'm
Yeah.
working on the pin, getting them off the safety pin. Here's a glove.
Oh, yeah, you can take down the audio.
Sure.
Turn it down some?
Yeah, well, no audio, hon.
No audio?
And here's the pin.
No, honey, because I've got to
Here's
talk
the
to
other
them.
glove.
Oh, okay.
You're welcome.
Poor baby's got a sore throat.
Oh.
And do you like the picture? Is it a good
Yes, it's set right on you and everything, Bunny.
We're going to have to make 2 shows, people. Things are very, very different.
All right, Bunny, I'll see you later.
You know, we've almost completed the transition of Glendora doing the vast Glendora TV enterprise, doing it alone, without a helper. We almost remember when Gregory died.
The time is 2 p.m.
What did you say, Google? The time is 2 p.m.? There's something to tell you about. Let's interrupt this a minute. Google will tell you what time it is on the hour. She'll strike the hour like the old Westminster clocks at 2 p.m. I wish she would do it at every 15 minutes like the old Westminster clock. Do you know where I could get a Westminster clock that would say 2 o'clock, 2:15? Or, they didn't say it, they chimed it. Well, that was our friend Amanda, who came in at 8:30 today and left at 2, and did the work of at least 3 or 4 people. We finished the Kinderhooks, Kinderhook Cablecast, A Chat with Glendora, 2 hours a day. What was that, Google? From 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, Monday through Friday. And has since the year 2004. And so we have to send them 20 half-hour programs, right? Monday through Friday, they have to have 2 hours every night. That doesn't add up, Glendora. You have to send them 22-hour programs. So I was starting to tell you how things have changed. We have just about made the transition of Glendora doing the TV enterprise on her without Gregory. On November 6th, Gregory was on his way to see a doctor. A friend was going to pick him up, and he fell dead on his way out the house to the friend's car. 57 years old. But you hear him all the time, don't you? We have him all over the place on 100 or more videos. And he was good. He was very good at doing a play-by-play. He was really good. So, Google just said to you that it was 2 p.m. So what is this big change? The eyesight was way down from what it should be when Gregory was with us. So when Gregory left and Glendora took it over on her own and made 128 TV shows just through memory and touch. All those buttons in front of your eyes, and you had to choose the right ones. And that was a great challenge, but it was a great satisfaction. Let me point this out to you, that in this change that would be considered negative, there was something very, very positive. And that's the satisfaction one receives from adjusting to the new way of life and succeeding at it. Now, isn't that funny? Always good comes out of bad. Always. So, Amanda and I got out the 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. 40 discs, 2 hours each. And she wrapped them skillfully and speedily and accurately. And they will go by U.S. mail on the 3rd week of March. But this is only the 3rd week of February. Why a month ahead? If you're going to make 185 shows, you'd better start it early. Well, they're all done and they're all in. Now this is vegetarian meatballs. I wish you could taste them with me. They're made by Worthington Foods. They are vegetarian. They could be vegan if Worthington Foods would only stop using milk and eggs. You don't need either. In fact, both are bad for you, and both are bad for the animals. Why is milk bad for the animals? Well, the mother cow carries that baby, no small job, and then when that dear baby is born, which is another big job, that baby is taken away from its mother immediately. And then the milk, the cow's hooked up to a machine, and then the milk goes into a pail and is sold mercenary for a person to make money, which is all wrong from the beginning. You don't steal from somebody and sell it and make money. And the poor little baby calf doesn't see his mother, and the poor mother doesn't see her baby, and the calf is put in an enclosure so he can't move around much, so that he will be anemic to make veal. That's why milk is bad. Stay away from milk. Don't you have anything to do with it. Cow's milk or goat's milk or anybody else's milk. Go soy milk. Go coconut milk. Go almond milk. Now why are eggs bad? Eggs, a hen is kept in an enclosure like this all of her life just to lay eggs. And people reach in, or the eggs go into a tube or a runway, and that's how she's kept all of her life, in this cage to lay eggs. And the eggs are stolen from her. And I think the male eggs are just crushed or thrown away. Or something like that. So don't have anything to do with eggs. They don't belong to us. They're stolen property. They're contraband. Gardein makes meatballs that are vegan. Morningstar Farms now makes a chicken breaded patty that is delicious, that is vegan. It used to have eggs and milk in it. But I'm sorry to say that their very good hamburger, which is called Original Grillers, is still made with eggs and milk. But you don't even have to worry about those people. We're eating up the last of these. No more Worthington Foods. And no Morningstar Farms unless it's vegan. You go to Gardein. You can go also to a fast food place, Burger King, and you can get a vegan burger. This program is entitled Glendora Vegetarian Club, and it is program number, let's see, November Thanksgiving was 92, December was 93, January was 94. And this one is for January 94. Next week is February 95, and that starts our year number 9. What? Yes, the Glendora Vegetarian Club has put in 8 years. It started in 2012. Has it accomplished anything? Yes. $52,000 spent to send donations to Mercy for Animals, Vegan Outreach, Friends of Animals, the Citizens Committee for Ethical Medicine, Dr. Bernard, or Responsible Medicine. PETA, American Vegan Society, North American Vegan Society, North American Vegetarian Society, Compassion Over Killing, and many more, sending donations to them. And buying vegan meals for people to eat, many dollars on that, and buying vegan food for .com Kitty. Her grocery bills for vegan food was about $112 a month. Buying her brewer's yeast. No, it wasn't brewer's yeast, it was nutritional yeast. You have to buy that at the health food store. And how she loved it. Buying her vegan kibble from Vegan Essentials out in Wisconsin. You can find out about them on the internet. Having Glendora Vegetarian Club meetings and paying for those. Thank you, Amanda. When your eyesight begins to decrease, you have to eat out of a bowl. Otherwise, if it's a plate, it goes all over the table. So we are within one department of being able to do when Rick Gregory left, and that was the DC TV. Their restrictions and their specifications are wildly grotesque. Public access should never be that hard, nor that convoluted. But they put out a beautiful channel of public access. It is one beautiful channel. And so we're within a telephone call to DC TV, that's public access in the District of Columbia, our nation's capital, of perfecting that. We're waiting for Julia to call us back, and Julia will walk Amanda through the computer how to make out an application for a program ID number, which you are promised to be issued within 24 hours. And then it goes to Karen Beasley, who scrutinizes it with a fine-tooth comb and will find any reason in the world to reject it, or 6 or 7 reasons to reject it. But nevertheless, we try. And they have cable cast several programs, and cable cast them rather nicely at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, some of them. And give them credit, they stream. What does stream mean? It means that you originate the program on a computer, and it goes over the internet, and it's available to all over the world, to any computer owned by any person. So, if that is consummated Monday, February the 24th, then all departments have been successfully brought to a conclusion. The first one, of course, is 185 TV shows to 74 TV stations, Boston to San Francisco. That was a vow that Glendora took in the year 1951, that she would go on TV and she would deliver the message. (1951), age 23. Actually, the TV career started in junior high school because Glendora started telling jokes. And she was a fan of Bob Hope. And that was beginning the shaping of that career. And she became the most popular person in the high school because of the jokes. And because the teachers didn't want her to be the most popular one. And that also carried through high school. And these are the years 1940, 41 through 1946, when that terrible war and suffering was going on in Europe. And here we who are happy-go-lucky high school kids, there's something wrong with that. The atomic bomb. 45, graduated in 46. NBC Hollywood, working there, meeting all those famous people that you don't even know because you weren't born. What year? 1950, 1951, and 1952. What is this? Pineapple juice. There's a grand creation, a pineapple. Out of the black soil, folks, one night in bed during meditation, counted 87 fruits and vegetables, all delicious, that come out of the soil. And then after NBC Hollywood, running the mimeograph machine, and you don't know what one of those is, in the script service department, radio, Father Knows Best, Marcus Welby, Dragnet, You Bet Your Life, to Pittsfield, Massachusetts, in a very small town where I could get the experience and make the mistakes I knew I was going to make, where very few people saw them. Starting out in a career in television performing in Hollywood or New York, where all the people who do the hiring would see the mistakes, that didn't help a person at all. And then from Picture Party in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, to the SS Glendora, the creation of the SS Glendora. The inspiration, the writing of it, the supernatural turn of it, and into Channel 9, VHS, Manchester, New Hampshire. Monday through Friday, 45 minutes a day. A show for children to teach them values and to give them a good time playing lovely games and learning things and taking vows to be good Americans. And then the SS Glendora to one of the biggest stations in the United States, Boston, WBZ TV, It's sponsored by Milton Bradley. And then to one of the most significant TV stations in the United States, run by General Electric, WRGB Channel 6. That was from 1955 to 1962. And all over the place still now. There are boys and girls who watch that and who are now 68 years old. That is so much fun. They crop up everywhere. On the internet, on public access TV, and now to see the vegan commercials to help the animals on the 6:30 p.m. news, Channel 6, broadcast TV. What is the message? In Glendora Vegetarian Club, it's obvious. No animal products. No animal products? Honey? Certainly not. Fur? I would say not. How could you steal an animal's fur given to that animal by God? No animal products. Mainly, it's kindness, to live kindly. Don't hurt anybody. Don't hurt anybody. As Gary Moore used to say, remember Gary Moore? No, you probably don't. He was on To Tell the Truth, right? Yeah. And he was also on CBS in the daytime. And a friend of his in Hollywood wrote me a letter of introduction to him. And I took it to New York, to CBS, on 57th Street between 9th and 10th or something like that. Where the CBS studios were in New York. And he sat in a rocking chair, the way Jack Kennedy did. And he said, what could he do for me? And I wanted to know how to get started on TV. And of course he simultaneously wanted to know how to continue to stay on TV in this volatile world of broadcast networks, NBC, CBS, and ABC. But he was amiable, and he treated people correctly. And he used to say, be kind to everybody. At the end of his program, he would bow his head and he'd say, be kind to everybody. Red Wing. And then there was a hiatus after I left WRGB in 1962, a hiatus of trying to find God. I wish I were you. I've told you how to do it. You had somebody tell you how to do it. But I searched and searched and searched, and I still didn't find it. And I went through all that decade, and I went to the university to study the universe, which is God. I took physics and mathematics and calculus. And I didn't find God. Then we started Glendora TV ads, which made about $250,000, helping low-income people afford an ad on TV, an ad campaign on TV. TV was notoriously expensive. Then a spot on a 30-second spot on the Super Bowl cost about $1 million. for airtime. And then into public access TV when it came out in 1970-71. And now, 47 years, the Glendora Public Access TV Network, 74 TV stations for whom we just made the 185 TV shows. And the longest running public access TV show in the world. And the most recent development, the vegan commercials to help the animals, to get people to go vegan. Well, usually on the Glendora Vegetarian Club meeting, by the way, would I tell you this was 94, meeting number 94? And in February, next week, when we have the meeting, we are starting year number 9. We like to have somebody read to you the U.S. code that says anybody who knowingly misrepresents any fact or anything like a fact is subject to fine and jail. Now you see this all over Washington, D.C. It's sad to see. But the U.S. Code is very clear on that. But I've never seen it enforced. I've seen lawyers do this misrepresentation willfully, wantonly, and I've seen judges do it. Many, many, many judges and clerks. But I don't see them going to jail or paying a fine. I just see them doing it over and over again for 20 years in the courts. And their agents, like the FBI, and like the U.S. Attorney, and like the U.S. judges, and the state judges and the municipal judges too. I have seen misrepresentations piled and stacked as high as you could go. So, that's one thing we read you, the U.S. Code. Another thing we would read you, if somebody were here to do the reading that I can no longer do, they would read you the 10 Commandments stated in children's language. Very, very clear. Let nothing in your life be more important than helping God. Or let nothing in your life be more important than helping others. Do not kill. Honor your mom and dad. Be faithful to your spouse. Do not steal. Do not covet. Be satisfied with what God has given you. And say, thank you, God. That's all. And you'll be surprised how much more will come than you ever expected. Do you know something, folks? Whatever you can imagine whatever you can imagine that exists, an event, a product, anything, the greatest things that you can imagine, God creates greater than that. Yeah. The greatest thing that you can imagine, God can do better than that. So what else do you read on the Glendora Vegetarian Club? I would like to read to you articles, or have somebody read to you articles from the Journal of the Physicians Committee for it's like ethical animals, ethical medicine, to get the medical students away from the cruelty to animals in their training. There's no need of it. I would like to read to you from the most recent American Vegan magazine. I would like to read to you the articles that the Glendora Vegetarian Club has presented to the Advertiser, our local advertising shopping guide, every week. I would like to read to you Isaiah chapter 11, verse 6. Or is it chapter 6, verse 11, where we are promised that the wolf shall lie down with the lamb, that the bear and the cow shall graze together, that they shall not hurt nor kill. No, that they shall not hurt nor harm on God's holy mountain, because we will all love each other. And the earth will be filled with knowledge as the water of the seas. But nobody's here to read that to you. Glendora Vegetarian Club, I think I can think of 4 great developments in the year 2019, 2020. Number 1, of course, the vegan commercials on mass television, which would be the 6:30 p.m. Channel 6 CBS. In the midst of all that clamor and ugliness and commercialism comes a very friendly voice with a good joke for you to laugh at, loving to hear you laugh, and telling you to go vegan. That campaign has cost I think it's like $56,000 for the airtime and for the production of the commercials. There have been well over 300 different 30-second ads appearing on the 6:30 p.m. news since 2017. The campaign will go through this year, 2020. It'll be the first week of every month on the 6:30 p.m. news, and it will end not until December 2021. The money is all paid. And all of the commercials are made by, well, first Glendora made them, and George Durnford in Portland, Oregon, edited them. And he's done all except the last 10? Or is it the last 5? I think it's the last 5. And he wants to do more that go way beyond these, that would spill over the contract, which is over in December 2021. He wants to do 8 or 10 more. Because they're there. Gelndoria made more than were necessary. So that's one great thing that's happened in the vegan movement in 2019-2020. I would say a second one is the vegan burger put out by Burger King. You can now go to Burger King and get a delicious hamburger that didn't make an animal be terrorized, be agonized, and be cut up in pieces, live a miserable life, a miserable, imprisoned life of suffering to end up in the slaughterhouse and end up cut in pieces. Go vegan. Meatless meatballs. So that's the second great thing that happened. What is the third? A charity headed by a boy, 9 years old, called Evan, offered to give Donald Trump $1 million to help the veterans any way he chose if he would go vegan for the month of January. Did he do it? No. Not that I know. The Pope was offered a similar package if he would go vegan for the month of January. Or some month. The name of the organization is $1 Million Vegan. And this Evan took out an ad, a front page ad in the New York Times. In the news section, page 16B or something. Page 15. And I know that to cost more than $10,000 because I bought an ad in the New York Times in the year 1980 something. For Gelndoria TV ads. And it cost $1,000 then. And he bought billboards and other media. So that's 1, 2, 3 great things happen in 2019. I can think of another, that Bourbon and Wolf started a vegan delicatessen on Lark Street in Albany. And the sandwiches were about $10. Or maybe a little more, maybe 11. And succeeded so illustriously that after 2-3 years they opened one in Troy. You can walk in there and you don't have to ask, is this vegan, is this vegan, is this vegan? It's all vegan. So those are 4 good things that happened last year in the world of veganism. It's always an issue of success when companies like Gardein put out delicious entrees like fishless fish fillets, like sweet and sour bites. You really can't tell them from the other type. You really can't tell them from the entrees from the other type. And there are so many vegan manufacturers, and they keep coming. Beyond Meat has been a great success. Beyond Meat is so much like meat that it's sold in the meat departments. Horrible places, but that is a step. What else can I tell you about the Glendora Vegetarian Club? What else can you tell me about veganism? What else can you tell me about kindness to animals? You don't eat honey because how hard they gave their lives to get that honey. And it's theirs. That's a terrible thing to go steal it from them. What kind of a conscience does a person have to do that? The vegan cheeses now, they're hardly any different from the cheeses that come from stolen cow's milk. Even Stewart's has 2 non-dairy ice cream flavors. Onward and onward the vegan movement goes, bigger and bigger. Just one thing I'd like to mention, that plant-based is really better than vegan. Vegans can eat things that are really not good for them. Some of the sweets, some of the desserts. Plant-based, go to Dr. Campbell on the internet, Cornell University, plant-based diet. He has had such great success in saving people who were abandoned by other doctors. Doctors says, there's nothing I can do for you. The doctor said to one patient, there's nothing I can do for you. Your disease is hereditary. And the patient said, send the bill to my dad. Well, without the benefit of notes and having a prompter and somebody read to us, that's about all I can think of. What can you think of for the Glendora Vegetarian Club? The little girl is on her way to Sunday school and she's saying, please God, don't make me late, please God, don't make me late, please God, don't make me late, and she tripped and fell. And she gets up and continues the running, and she says, please God, don't make me late, please God, don't make me late, but don't shove me. And another little girl is on the way to Sunday school, and she has 2 quarters, one for Jesus, one for the church, and one for herself. And as she runs along the sidewalk, a quarter slips out of her hand, rolls down the sidewalk, and goes down the sewer. And she says, oh, that's terrible. There goes Jesus' quarter. A man had a talking dog, and he took it to a booking agent in Manhattan to try to get some gigs. And he says, listen, this dog talks. Rover, what do you call it that a house has that rain doesn't come in? Rover said, roof, roof. And the man says, Rover, what do you call it that a tree has in the ground that it doesn't fall over? And Rover said, roots, roots. Rover, what do you call it? Who was the greatest baseball player of all times? Roof, roof. At this point, the booking agent pushes the man and the dog out the door, locks the door, and as the man and the dog are walking down the corridor, the dog looks up to the man and he said, I should have said DiMaggio. I was in the Kinderhook Reformed Church, and the minister made an announcement from the pulpit. This afternoon at 5:30, we are going to start a men's study group. And I got up and I said, well, I've been studying men for 60 years and I still don't understand them. Why couldn't Mozart find his teacher? He was Haydn. A man was in a haberdashery shop, and he said to the owner, may I please try on that navy blue suit in the window? And the owner says, no, you'll have to use the dressing room. A man took his dog to the veterinarian, and the veterinarian says, well, I'm sorry, sir, your dog is dead. And the man says, well, I want a second opinion. So the veterinarian gets his cat, and the cat comes out and circles the dog, and the dog doesn't stir. And the man says, well, I guess you're right. My doggie is dead. What do I owe you? The veterinarian said $300 for the call and $200 for the CAT scan. The lawyer says, I'll take your case on a retainer basis. That'll cost you $3,000, and that entitles you to 2 questions. $3,000, 2 questions? Isn't that expensive? Perhaps. What's your second question? What do you call a person who doesn't get angry? A nomad. Why did the trumpet player practice his trumpet in a closet? He was a private tutor. Teacher, use the word bewitches in a sentence. Boy, you guys go ahead, I'll bewitches in a minute. So, with the limited eyesight, in the the knee that was put out of alignment through this sciatic nerve because of being too old and to stand up straight, or being too tired to stand up straight, and put a strain on the back that went down the leg. In spite of that, the Gelndoria TV enterprise went along, and things were being done. So then what happens? The night of February 7th, Thursday, going to bed was normal and healthy. And then in the morning in the bathroom, when the light came on, no image was seen in the mirror. Everything was a marshmallow white. What? An even marshmallow soupy white. Look down at the bathroom sink. Nothing distinguishable, marshmallow white. Over to the counter, marshmallow white. The sight had gone. Really? Barely tiny C out of this one. What happened? Overnight. Safely in your little trundle bed. Well, of course everybody says cataracts. And then they say macular degeneration. What it feels like to me is that as one gets older, or in this case, with the older age, the pupil loses its grip. It can't close as tightly anymore. It can't get any farther than that. And it can't shut out all the light. And all of this light comes into your eye. What happens when a light is shown into your eye? You can't see, can you? It's a glare. It's white. That night, it breathed its last. It gave up entirely. "20 people have offered to help." The suggestions come in from all over the place. One man, an MD, said, "If I can find an eye doctor I can trust, would you go see him?" And I said, "Well, I certainly would think about it." I'll try to find one I can trust. This is one doctor saying he's looking for a doctor he can trust. How's that, Dr. Neil Barnard, for the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine? Will you? Between you and me, I don't think so. At 91 and 3/4 years old, no. As long as I have Manda, who reads to me and writes for me, who helps me make the videos, and who helps me edit them, and who helps me upload them, I would say no. And this upsets the people who want me to go to an eye doctor. And the eye doctor said to the Japanese man, "You have a cataract." The Japanese man says, "No, I have a wrinkle." Now, soul to soul. Okay, Glendora Vegetarian Club, okay. That's all for the January meeting. I'll see you on the February meeting for the video on that. Okay, folks? Oh, I should sing you the theme song. All creatures of our God and King, lift up your hearts and let us sing. Just be kind, stop the cruel. Thou cows and pigs, leave them alone. The hens and turkeys, something too. One with God.
The time is 3 p.m.
Thank you, dear Google. The time is 3 p.m. Save the fish, just be kind. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with us. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God as our Father. Brothers all are we. Let me walk with my brother in perfect harmony. That's not just people, that's animals. Let me walk with my brother in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with us. Let this be my solemn vow. With every step I take, let this be the moment now to live each day in harmony. In peace and harmony, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with us. Come, ye thankful people, come, raise the song of harvest home. All is safely gathered in, ere the winter storms begin. God our Maker doth provide, listen to this, God our Maker doth provide, for our wants to be supplied. Come to God's own temple, come, raise a song of harvest home. Oh, I forgot a couple of stats on the Glendora Vegetarian Club. 1,000 pages of log and 900 hours of work. Okay. A chat with Glendora. 47 years old. 74 TV stations, Boston to San Francisco, Boston to San Diego. the Glendora Public Access TV network, and 12,090 shows, almost 13,000, 12,900 shows. No, Glendora, 12,090 shows. Almost 12,100 shows. What does it teach? After all is said and done, the only thing that really matters is how you treated others. After all is said and done, the only thing that really matters is how did you treat others. What else does it say? That the universe is one. God is one. God is one. We're one. The sin is trying to separate yourself from that oneness and put yourself over here and saying, I'm different, I'm better, I deserve more than anybody else, I'm smarter, I'm more talented, I'm richer. That's the sin. That's selfishness. That's egotism. That's me first. No, it's a dead end. Don't fall for it. Instead, selflessness, oneness, friends. All you do is good. You don't do anything bad. Everything is good. And creating. The universe, God, is a creator. Non-stoppable creativity. Get out a hammer and a nail and make something. All of your life. Answer the obsession to create, to make something. And you do it together with everybody. And what's the next thing? You have a good time doing it. This is what a chat with Glendora talks about. It doesn't teach you this. No, there's no teaching involved. It just reminds you of it, because you keep forgetting it. That old selfishness, egotism, me first, the mirage. It just reminds you to go to your sanctuary, where you think about that. And you listen to your conscience. You listen to the soul. The soul inside of me is continuous with the soul inside of you. I know a lot about you. You would be amazed at how much I know about you. Why? Because I've looked at the soul inside of me. And I know what it's like. And the soul that's inside of me is continuous with the soul inside of you. So I know a lot about you. Let me make the point again. No teaching. Just reminding. Just reminding. Make you think about it. Counting blessings? Count 40 an hour.
Call from Patricia C.
Oh, that's Christine, Channel 6. Thank you, dear. I'll call you back and give you everything I have. She sat here for 2 hours yesterday trying to help me relearn with no eyesight how to answer this phone and how to make a call. Isn't that something? At 91 3/4, how to answer a phone and how to make a call. But the day that we succeed, think how happy we will be, and we can tell you. What were we doing? Counting blessings, 40 an hour. You count the blessings of the universe, the creativity, the variety, the fascination, the kaleidoscope, the operation, the astronomical distances, the tiny, 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 tiny 10 to the minus 45. The precision, the beauty, the fun of it, the gratification. Oh, that can go on for, well, that can go on, just go on in ad infinitum. The oneness, the allness. The universe is one, the universe is all. It's everything. The universe is only. That's who God is. All of us together, creating together, keeping the universe going, growing, and glowing. Also, I would like to have you drink 5 glasses of water a day. What is this? This is the water that I should have drunk at 8 a.m. and this is the 3rd drink. Until your urine is crystal clear. Think of what that's going to do for your body. What else does a chat with Gelndoria try to remind you of? Well, the veganism, right? Yeah. The oneness, the wholeness, the allness, the onlyness, the goodness. The spin of the earth. Every night at twilight. Are you going to be given another 24 hours? The spin of the earth? Are you going to be given another 24 hours? Darkness for sweet sleep, and the daytime for exciting creating. The electricity, the heat, the time, temperature, the electromagnetic spectrum, infrared, heat, radio waves, microwaves, and then those colors, red, orange, green, blue, those magnificent colors. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue. Violet. And then the high ones, ultraviolet, X-rays, gamma rays. And they're so interesting. They're mathematics, they're arithmetic. They all have a precise number of frequencies and a precise measurement of wavelength. It's fascinating. In fact, the whole universe and its mathematics are fascinating. How it is mathematically built. Gravity. Einstein's theory of gravity, theory of relativity, special, general, and that the surfaces aren't straight like that. The surfaces are like a rubber sheet, and if you put a rock in the rubber sheet, it's going to sink, right? And then anything walking by it is going to fall into that depression, right? And Einstein's equations fit all of that activity proved over and over again. So electromagnetism and gravity and the air, hot air, cold air, warm air, dry air, it brings particles, it brings the aroma, it brings sound. You're dead without it. The whole principle of the pulmonary miracle. You die with it. 2 minutes without it, you're dead. 3 minutes. The Earth's envelope of air, the ionosphere, the troposphere, the atmospheric pressure, the water, water to wash, water to drink, the great big oceans, the great big seas, the great big lakes, the great big rivers, and in our backyard, the little tiny Valatia Kill. And who is there now? Mr. and Mrs. Mallard Duck in February. And we feed them. And look at the colors and the patterns in them. How's that for creativity? Whoa! Ducks. Two-thirds of the earth is water, but 1/3 isn't. And that's our 1/3 of land, the 7 continents. The rocks, the marble, that forms the beautiful mountains and the beautiful hills. The stones and the pebbles. And the sand and the earth. And trees and grass. And dandelions. Photosynthesis, symbiosis. Animals. And then that black soil. We counted 87 plants and animals, vegetables and fruits that come out of that black soil. And then the fish, the birds, and the mammals, and dogs and cats and people. Then there's your other blessings. Born alive and healthy, food, clothing, and a home, freedom and independence, no catastrophes, finances, education, TV career, TV business, whatever yours is, husband and husband job. And the blessings of the TV enterprise, all of its ins and outs and fascinations, and the compulsion of creating, the compulsion to be busy creating. Now this isn't Martha Mary busy. Go to your sanctuary, have your sanctuary, where you can go and listen and find these truths, or be reminded of these truths. Anything else from a chat with Glendora? Yeah, it's a lot. A great number. But today is what? February 21 in the year 2020. I thought my eyesight was going to get better this year because it was 2020, right? But it's a process. And you wonder how long it will be, and you wonder how it will be. Will it be suddenly, quickly, painlessly, or will it be long, drawn out, and painful? WRBG Channel 6 WRGB Channel 6 CBS had a feature on a man in New Windsor, New York, a little tiny place, who was 107 years old and who went to work every day. He was a barber, and he went to work every day. He went to his wife's grave every morning, and he drove. 107 years old. Okay. May you be blameless and harmless as a child of God, without blemish. May you stop this wicked and perverse cruelty to animals, and may you make your light shine upon the world. Take that all and do it all over good again. Instead of saying may you, say may we. Just we. There's only we. We are all one together. We are not separated into I, me, you, my, mine. We are all we. Meditate with God until your heart is pure, until your will is one with God to do and to endure. Hi folks, it's Glendora. I have some telephone calls for you to hear. They're very sweet.
Your messages, press 1. First saved voice message. Sent Wednesday, February 19th at 4:05 p.m. from 85856942231. Duration 1 minute, 15 seconds.
Hi, Glendora. This is Paul Matteau from Community Access TV in San Diego, California. I got your message yesterday. You were requesting for our address. Our address here is 6401 Linda Vista Road. I'm in room 102, and that is San Diego, California 92111. I'll repeat that. 6401 Linda Vista Road, room 102, San Diego, California 92111. I love getting your phone calls, and I love getting your shows. And I did want to say, however, though, just to make sure that there was one show I got that had a lot of black in between the two segments, and I wasn't able to air it because it would have triggered alarms on our end, and our engineering department would have been real happy with that. But just to make sure that there's not too much black in between the cuts and the
Yes, I'm
segments. But
sorry
other than
about that.
I